In the warm glow of an early summer morning, the gentle lapping of water against the shore set the scene for what many in the coastal community considered another perfect day at Lake Serenity. Families gathered along the sandy beach, children played in the shallows, and laughter mingled with the soothing sounds of nature. Among the regular visitors was the Rodriguez family, known for their close bond and their ever-present companion, Bruno, a sturdy, affectionate Pitbull whose eyes shone with a quiet intelligence and an unwavering loyalty that endeared him to everyone in the neighborhood. Bruno had been with the Rodriguez family for several years, accompanying them on every outing to the lake and beach. Over time, he had developed a keen habit of watching over the swimmers, especially the little ones, with an almost human sense of responsibility. His powerful physique and natural athleticism made him an excellent swimmer, and he would often be seen paddling confidently in the water, seemingly in tune with the rhythms of the lake. Neighbors would remark on how Bruno's presence exuded a sense of calm reassurance, as if he were silently promising that nothing untoward would disturb the carefree days spent by the water. One radiant afternoon, as the sun climbed high and the lake sparkled like a bed of diamonds, an unexpected moment unfolded that would forever alter the community's view of Bruno. The Rodriguez family was enjoying a leisurely picnic on the grassy bank when a commotion arose near the water's edge. A small child, no more than 3 or 4 years old, had ventured too far from the shallow waters and was now struggling in a section where the current had become unexpectedly swift. The child, who had been splashing happily just moments before, was now flailing, her tiny arms and legs battling the force of the water as panic began to set in. Shouts of alarm rang out from nearby families, and within seconds, the joyful atmosphere transformed into one of fear and frantic urgency. At that critical moment, Bruno's senses snapped into action. The gentle dog, who had long been known for his affectionate nature, suddenly became the embodiment of focus and determination. His ears perked up as he caught the sound of a distressed cry mingled with the splashing of water. Without a moment's hesitation, Bruno leapt from the shade of the picnic area and sprinted toward the shoreline. His powerful legs propelled him with effortless grace over the sand, and in a few heartbeats, he was at the water's edge where the struggling child was barely visible amid the rolling waves. Bruno's eyes, deep and resolute, locked onto the tiny figure floundering in the water. The scene that unfolded was both heart-wrenching and awe-inspiring, a small life in peril, and a devoted animal prepared to risk everything to save it. With a determined bark that cut through the rising clamor of panic, Bruno plunged into the water. His body moved with a swimmer's precision, every stroke a testament to his innate strength and years of joyful play in the lake. The water splashed around him as he raced against time, his mind singularly focused on reaching the vulnerable child. In the midst of swirling water and rising tension, a lifeguard on duty, Mr. Thompson, noticed the sudden change in Bruno's behavior. Already on high alert from the initial cries for help, he quickly directed his colleagues to focus on the area where the Pitbull had disappeared beneath the surface. With practiced efficiency, the lifeguard signaled for an emergency response while Bruno continued his determined pursuit. As he approached the struggling child, Bruno's instincts took over completely. He swam alongside her, his head bobbing just above the water, and gently nudged her with his nose, an unspoken promise that he was there to help. At one particularly tense moment, as the child's small arms flailed desperately and her cries grew more desperate, Bruno positioned himself directly in front of her, effectively blocking the current and creating a temporary safe zone. His powerful body served as both a shield and a guide, allowing the frightened child to cling to him. The lifeguard, now closer to the scene, saw the miraculous intervention. With calm authority, he reached out, grabbing the pair and pulling them steadily toward the shore. Neighbors along the beach watched in stunned silence as the lifeguard and Bruno worked in tandem, the dog's wet fur glistening in the sunlight as he continued to offer silent reassurance to the child. Once safely on the shore, the atmosphere shifted from frantic panic to a mixture of relief and wonder. The child, now wrapped in a warm towel and surrounded by concerned family members, began to calm down as the reality of her rescue sank in. The Rodriguez family, though shaken to their core, gathered around Bruno with tears of gratitude and awe in their eyes. "He saved her," Mrs. Rodriguez whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of relief and disbelief. "Our Bruno is our guardian angel." Those words were echoed by countless onlookers and later captured in interviews by local news crews, who arrived promptly to document the unfolding heroism. In the hours following the rescue, the beach was abuzz with praise for Bruno. Interviews with lifeguards, family members, and even the rescued child's parents painted a picture of an extraordinary act of bravery that defied the stereotypes often associated with the Pitbull breed. Mr. Thompson, the lifeguard, recounted the event with a tone of deep respect. "I've seen many rescues in my years on duty. But what Bruno did was something truly remarkable. His instinct to jump in and guide that child to safety, it was nothing short of heroic." His words, combined with the emotional footage of the rescue, quickly spread across social media platforms, igniting a wave of heartfelt testimonials and posts praising the selfless act of a dog who had risked everything for a stranger's child. Over the next few days, local newspapers featured headlines such as "Pitbull Hero at Lake Serenity," "A Lifesaver's Tale," and "Unlikely Guardian: How One Dog Changed a Day." Social media hashtags like #BraveBruno and #GuardianPitbull trended locally, with thousands of users sharing their own stories of pet heroism and expressing newfound admiration for a breed that had long been misunderstood by many. The rescue not only saved a life that day but also sparked a broader conversation about the importance of water safety, responsible pet training, and the need to see beyond preconceived notions. Animal behavior experts were interviewed on television, explaining that with proper care and training, even breeds that have suffered from a negative reputation can display extraordinary acts of loyalty and courage. In subsequent interviews, the rescued child's parents spoke tearfully about the overwhelming relief they felt when they learned that their daughter was safe. "We were terrified," her mother recounted, "not just for her safety but for the thought of what could have happened. Then we saw Bruno in the water, and in that moment, our fears were replaced by hope. He truly is a miracle on four legs." Their words resonated deeply with viewers, who found in this story a powerful reminder of the unexpected sources of protection and love that can emerge when we least expect it. The story of Bruno's rescue soon became a case study for local rescue organizations, who used it to highlight the potential for training and socialization to unlock the best in animals often judged solely by their breed. Workshops and community seminars were organized to educate pet owners on the importance of teaching water safety to their dogs, especially those that frequent lakes and beaches. Experts pointed out that a well-trained dog can be a valuable asset in emergencies, not only for its ability to alert owners to danger but also for its capacity to act decisively when lives are at stake. Bruno's actions, they said, were the perfect illustration of how a dog's natural instincts, honed through love and proper training, can transcend any negative stereotypes. As the days turned into weeks, Bruno's legacy continued to grow. His image became a symbol of hope and resilience, a reminder that heroes can come in unexpected forms. The Rodriguez family proudly displayed photos of Bruno in their home, and local community centers even dedicated a small mural in his honor near the lake. At community gatherings, neighbors spoke fondly of the day when a pit bull became an unlikely savior, and children listened with wide-eyed wonder as the story was recounted over and over. In classrooms, teachers used the incident as an opportunity to discuss themes of courage, loyalty, and the importance of looking out for one another, reinforcing the idea that every creature has the potential to be a hero. Throughout this transformative period, interviews with lifeguards and rescue personnel further illuminated the importance of water safety and the role that animals like Bruno can play in preventing tragedies. A local lifeguard described the incident as a powerful reminder that sometimes the instincts of an animal can be our greatest asset in an emergency. Bruno's quick thinking not only saved a life that day but also taught us all to never underestimate the bond between a pet and its family. These reflections served as a catalyst for renewed community initiatives, prompting local authorities to invest in better water safety measures and increased public awareness campaigns. Even as the excitement of the rescue began to settle into a cherished memory, the lessons learned from that day continued to inspire both the Rodriguez family and the wider community. Bruno, the once unassuming family pet, had emerged as a beacon of hope, a living example of the extraordinary capabilities that can lie within even the most misunderstood animals. His heroic dive into the lake, driven solely by instinct and an unyielding desire to protect, became a story that would be passed down for generations, a tale of courage, love, and the enduring power of loyalty. In the hours and days following the rescue, the atmosphere along Lake Serenity transformed from one of frantic urgency to one of reflective gratitude. As the sun rose each morning and cast a gentle light across the glistening water, families and local residents gathered in quieter moments to share their thoughts on what had transpired. The miraculous rescue had not only saved a precious life but had also opened the community's eyes to the hidden potential in the most unlikely of heroes. Bruno, once an ordinary family pet, now walked with an unmistakable air of purpose, a silent guardian whose instincts had become the linchpin of hope. Local news crews returned to the lake, their cameras capturing candid interviews with onlookers, lifeguards, and even the rescued child's family. One lifeguard, still visibly moved by the incident, recalled with reverence the split-second decision that had set the rescue in motion. "I've witnessed many emergencies here," he explained, but the moment Bruno dove in, it was as if the entire lake fell silent. His determination and speed were nothing short of heroic. His words resonated across subsequent news reports, becoming a touchstone for discussions about water safety and the extraordinary role that a well-trained animal could play in emergencies. At community meetings held in the wake of the incident, local authorities and animal behavior experts convened to analyze and celebrate the events. The discussion turned to water safety initiatives, and new proposals were put forth to install additional warning signs, emergency call stations, and to offer training sessions on water rescue techniques, not only for lifeguards but also for families who frequented the lake. Many pointed out that Bruno's actions were a potent reminder of the inherent abilities animals possess when nurtured in supportive environments. "It's incredible," one animal trainer noted, "how a dog's natural instincts can save a life. With proper training and socialization, even a pet can become a guardian in unexpected situations." Meanwhile, the Rodriguez family found themselves at the center of an outpouring of community support. The rescued child's tearful reunion with her family had sparked a cascade of heartfelt messages on social media. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers from nearby towns flooded the family's social media pages with messages of praise, thanking Bruno for his brave intervention. Hashtags like #BraveBruno and #LakeGuardian quickly gained traction, uniting people around the common theme of hope and courage. In one particularly moving post, a local parent wrote, "Today, I learned that heroes don't always wear capes. They sometimes have 4 paws and a wet nose. Thank you, Bruno, for reminding us all of the power of love and loyalty." Local newspapers featured long-form articles recounting the incident, and opinion pieces emerged that challenged long-standing misconceptions about pit bulls. These articles highlighted that with proper care, training, and a nurturing environment, pit bulls were capable not only of love but also of extraordinary heroism. Critics who had once dismissed the breed began to reconsider their assumptions, spurred on by the tangible, undeniable evidence of Bruno's selfless act. Community leaders organized public forums where residents discussed the importance of animal welfare, responsible pet ownership, and the need to dismantle harmful stereotypes. In these forums, Bruno's image was displayed prominently, a symbol of transformation and resilience that inspired many to look beyond the surface. In one such forum, a well-known animal advocate spoke passionately about the rescue, stating, "Bruno's brave dive into the water wasn't just a reaction to a crisis. It was a manifestation of years of love and trust built between him and his family. His actions remind us that animals are capable of tremendous courage, and it is our duty to nurture that potential." Her words sparked a standing ovation among the attendees, many of whom were moved to tears by the sincerity and power of the message. The impact of Bruno's heroism extended to local schools as well. Teachers incorporated the rescue story into lessons on empathy, resilience, and safety, using Bruno's example to illustrate that help can come from the most unexpected places. In art classes, students painted portraits of Bruno in action, a determined, powerful figure splashing through the water to save a life. In literature classes, essays were assigned that asked students to reflect on what true heroism meant, drawing parallels between the story of Bruno and historical figures known for their selflessness. The children's projects not only celebrated Bruno's act but also served to foster a generation that valued courage and compassion over prejudice. As part of a broader community initiative, local authorities collaborated with animal shelters and rescue organizations to launch a "Heroes on Paws" campaign. The campaign featured heartwarming videos, interviews with pet owners, and educational workshops on training rescue dogs for emergency scenarios. Bruno's story was the centerpiece of this campaign, used to demonstrate that every pet, regardless of breed, could be a potential lifesaver when given love and proper guidance. Workshops were held at community centers where families learned about water safety measures, including how to recognize dangerous currents and what to do in an emergency. Experts also explained the basics of canine behavior, emphasizing that a dog's protective instincts were often a reflection of the strong bonds they shared with their human families. During one of these workshops, a local lifeguard demonstrated rescue techniques while highlighting Bruno's heroic example. He explained how, in emergencies, a well-trained dog could be the difference between life and death. "We sometimes overlook the natural abilities of our pets," he remarked. "Bruno's instincts saved a life that day. And it's a lesson we should all take to heart. Our pets are not just companions, they are our partners in safety." His demonstration was met with enthusiastic applause, and many in the audience pledged to consider additional training for their own dogs. In the weeks following the rescue, a series of interviews with the Rodriguez family provided a more personal look at the emotional aftermath of the incident. Mr. Rodriguez recalled the moment he first noticed Bruno's change in behavior, how the dog's eyes had locked onto the distant splash, setting off an instinctual response that led him to the child. "It was like Bruno knew, deep down, that something was wrong," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I've always loved our dog. But that day, he became so much more than a pet. He became a guardian, a friend, and the embodiment of hope." Mrs. Rodriguez added that the experience had fundamentally changed their lives, deepening their appreciation for every moment spent together as a family. "We often take for granted the simple act of being together," she explained, "but when you see what Bruno can do, you realize that every heartbeat, every moment of togetherness, is a gift." The rescued child, though understandably shaken, gradually recovered from the ordeal with the comforting presence of her family and the gentle reassurance of Bruno by her side. Over time, her initial fear of water was replaced by a cautious respect, and she began to associate the lake not with danger but with the memory of the day a dog had saved her. Her parents later recounted in a moving interview how her laughter slowly returned, a sign that the trauma was being replaced by the healing power of love. "Every time she looks at Bruno, she sees a friend," her father noted, "and that, in itself, is a miracle." As summer progressed into late season, the story of Bruno's heroic act continued to influence local policies on water safety. The municipal council voted to install additional safety signage around the lake, and new protocols were implemented to ensure rapid emergency response in the water. Furthermore, several community-funded initiatives were launched to provide free water safety classes for children, emphasizing not only the importance of vigilance but also the role that trusted companions, both human and animal, can play in safeguarding lives. In a particularly poignant development, a local university initiated a research project aimed at studying the instinctual behaviors of rescue dogs. Led by renowned animal behaviorists, the project sought to understand the neurological and sensory mechanisms that enabled dogs like Bruno to detect distress in complex environments. Preliminary findings, shared at a regional symposium, confirmed that a dog's sense of smell is exponentially more powerful than that of humans, capable of distinguishing individual scents even amid overwhelming background odors. Bruno's ability to track the unique scent of a child in the vast expanse of the lake is nothing short of extraordinary. One researcher explained, "It reaffirms the incredible potential that lies within our animal companions when they are given the love and training they deserve." The symposium received widespread media attention, further solidifying Bruno's status as not just a local hero, but as a subject of scientific interest and admiration. Social media platforms continued to be awash with tributes to Bruno. Video montages compiled from news clips, personal testimonials, and candid snapshots of Bruno on duty were shared across various channels. garnering millions of views and prompting fans from around the globe to share their own rescue stories. Many expressed a newfound respect for pit bulls and other breeds that had been long maligned by stereotypes. Today, I learned that heroes don't come in one shape or form. One viral post read, "Sometimes, they come with a wagging tail, a strong heartbeat, and the courage to jump into danger for the ones they love." Community art projects sprang up in tribute to the heroic Pitbull. A local muralist, inspired by Bruno's courageous act, painted a sprawling mural on the side of a community center. The artwork depicted Bruno as a powerful yet gentle figure emerging from the blue waters of the lake. His eyes fixed on a distant horizon that symbolized hope. The mural quickly became a local landmark, a daily reminder that courage and compassion could be found in the most unexpected places. Children gathered in front of the mural during school field trips, and elderly residents took solace in its vibrant colors, often recounting the rescue story with a sense of pride and gratitude. At a special community event held on the anniversary of the rescue, the Rodriguez family, local officials, and Bruno himself were honored in a heartfelt ceremony. Speeches were given that celebrated not only the heroism of a devoted dog but also the unity that had blossomed in the wake of a crisis. "Bruno didn't just save a child that day," Mr. Rodriguez said, his voice firm and filled with emotion. "He reminded us all of the extraordinary power of love and the importance of never underestimating the bonds we share with our pets." The event culminated in a moving performance by local schoolchildren, whose songs of hope and unity echoed across the lake, carrying with them the promise that such acts of courage would never be forgotten. In the months that followed, Bruno's legacy continued to resonate throughout the community and beyond. Local animal shelters reported a significant increase in adoptions of rescue dogs, as many families were inspired by Bruno's story to give a second chance to animals in need. Advocacy groups launched educational campaigns aimed at dismantling harmful stereotypes about pit bulls, using Bruno's heroic act as a shining example of the true nature of these often misunderstood animals. Workshops, online seminars, and community discussions all carried the message that love, training, and a nurturing environment could unlock the hidden potential within every dog. Throughout all these developments, Bruno remained the same gentle soul who had captured the hearts of everyone at Lake Serenity. When he wasn't accompanying the Rodriguez family on their daily outings, he could be found lounging in the shade of a large oak tree near the lake, his eyes ever watchful for anyone in need of his protection. His presence became synonymous with hope, a living reminder that sometimes a loyal heart and a courageous spirit can make all the difference in a moment of crisis. As summer slowly gave way to the crisp embrace of autumn once again, the community's collective memory of that fateful day continued to inspire new initiatives and heartfelt tributes. The story of Bruno's rescue, with its blend of adrenaline, tenderness, and unwavering devotion, was not only a reminder of the fragility of life but also a celebration of the resilience of the human and animal spirit. In every corner of the community, from school classrooms to local government meetings, Bruno's example was cited as proof that sometimes the simplest acts of loyalty could have the most profound impact. In reflective interviews, residents recounted how the rescue had altered their perceptions of safety and community. It wasn't just about saving a life, a local parent explained during a televised interview. It was about how a single act of kindness can ripple outwards, transforming fear into hope and strangers into a united family. Such sentiments echoed through every interview, every news segment, and every heartfelt post on social media. Bruno's heroism eventually became a case study not only for water rescue operations but also for the potential role that trained therapy and rescue animals could play in emergency situations. Universities, emergency response organizations, and animal behavior researchers collaborated to explore new training techniques, drawing inspiration from Bruno's natural abilities. The resulting studies and training programs helped create a blueprint for integrating animals more effectively into community safety protocols, a lasting legacy that would benefit countless lives in the years to come. As the narrative of Bruno's rescue continued to unfold, it became clear that the legacy of that summer day extended far beyond the boundaries of Lake Serenity. It was a story of love, loyalty, and the transformative power of a devoted dog's instincts, a story that resonated with people from all walks of life. uniting them in a shared belief that, even in the face of danger, hope could prevail. And in the gentle ripples that spread across the water each time Bruno dove in to save a life, there remained an everlasting promise that courage and compassion, no matter how small or misunderstood, would always find a way to shine through.